Hi everyone, welcome to episode 3 of this journey on how I became a funded trader with Bulenox in just 9 days, or 10 days, because you have to do 10, but on the ninth day I hit the qualification target to be funded with a $50,000 account. In this episode I'm going to talk about the paper trading and the refining I did. These two stages are super important. I think that so many traders make the mistake of just going, I've got a strategy and now I'm going to sign up and do a trading challenge. The problem with this is if you have been trading a strategy and been losing money with it or not making profit with it, there's no way you're suddenly going to become a profitable trader just because you're trading a challenge. And if you've decided to do it like I have and gone, okay, I'm going to take a step back and I'm going to start all over again and create a new strategy, then guess what? In the first month, you're going to make more mistakes trading that strategy than at any other point in the future. And on top of that, you're also not going to know the best way to trade that strategy. So if you're at the stage where maybe you've just signed up for an account or you're thinking about signing up for one, first make sure that you do this step first of paper trading and refining. Let's get into what I did. So the way it's up here. The way I left last time was essentially we had a bunch of data. I actually went back and found the old data that I had between these two episodes, and I found that in the total trades being, it was less than this at the start. It was about 150 when I started paper trading. But the expected return was between 49R, which was the maximum possible with all the best fitting included, and 22R, which would build into the backtesting around about 20% error rate. And this for me was acceptable. I mean, anybody would love a strategy that makes 20R a month every single month. If you could do that for the rest of your life, you'll become very, very wealthy. And with this data, I was actually able to work out that I needed to have between a 75 and a 93% accuracy rate to achieve 15R of profit each month. And the reason I spent the time on this calculation was so that when I started to paper trade, I would know if I was way off the accuracy required or pretty much at the accuracy required and the strategy itself wasn't performing particularly well. In the past, when I look back at previous strategies that I traded, my performance was really bad. My accuracy rate was like 25, 30%, 35%, and therefore it was not really a big surprise that in the years previous years that I've lost money trading because my accuracy level's been incredibly low. So this step here and this realization of how accurate you need to be and this whole process of paper trading and refining, I think was the difference between me being a losing trader and me becoming a funded trader. And that's a pretty big thing. So if you've not done this sort of thing before, definitely consider it. The first set of paper trading I did, I have here. I'm not going to go through every single trade, but just to give you a few examples of some of the trades I took. There was this one which was a loss. We've got a downtrend that broke, entered as we came into the moving average. We have this trade that won, downtrend that broke, came into the moving average, went for a long. This trade won as well, broke a moving average, broke the trend line, hit the moving average. Fine, cool. The important thing here is these two columns, the accuracy column and the grading column. And the way I use these two, one, the accuracy column works out my accuracy percentage. We needed between 75 and 93% accuracy. Well, over this period of 22 trades, I was at an 86% accuracy, which wasn't too bad. And the grading, a B grade trade is when I make a mistake for the first time, and a C grade trade is when I've repeated a mistake. Now, funnily enough, I actually performed at a pretty high level during the paper trading. I think that right at the start, I probably gave myself accurate trades that weren't accurate because it was something fairly new to me. And I've traded in the past strategies that aren't very robotic, so this to me at the start felt very easy. It was a case of, well, there's not all that much thinking I need to do, which is great. However, we can see that the total profit, despite a really high accuracy rate, was only 6.2R. And this was my first red flag because, we should be making 15 to 20R a month minimum. This was, about half a month, and we've only made 6R. And that for me was starting to give me signs maybe this isn't as profitable as I thought. I've executed it well and I haven't made very much. And at that point, I was really on the fence on whether I wanted to join a prop firm or not. So I decided I would open up a pretty small live account and just trade my own money while I made that decision. And this happened. Straight away began making mistakes. Okay, fair enough. We began trading live mining, some more emotion comes in. I actually missed a couple of trades. I missed this one, for example, and I also missed this trade, and I ended up taking one loss, which was, it's quite funny when you when that happens, when you miss a couple. My accuracy level took a major hit at 69%. That's below the threshold I needed, and crucially, despite it being below, I'd still probably expect around about a break-even period here. I was down 9.5 R, and what really showed up to me was during this period here, if we just go real quick over these trades here, where I had a near impeccable trading record, I lost 5R. That's over these, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 trades. I lost 5R despite trading it very accurately. And that for me made me just take a step back and go, maybe the strategy is not all that profitable. Because if you extend this out to a larger period, a larger sort of period here even, where again, we're at a pretty high level of accuracy. During this period, I've taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bad trades, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I think it was 16 correct trades. 17. 17. So I've taken 17 good trades and 6 bad trades. That's an acceptable return. And I was down 5R. And that was a really big red flag. So what I began doing was refining. And the way to refine a strategy is to go back through your data and go, okay, let's look at my winning trades and let's look at my losing trades. Let's find the thing that shows up in the winning trades that doesn't show up in the losing trades. I began looking at that and I went through, it's my refining data. I went through so many different things to test. Whether it was traded going with the trend or against the trend, whether it was how if I was in 50% of profit, how often it would go back to the entry and still work, or if it then lose. If I would take a trade after a false breakout, if we took a larger stop loss, if we took a trade during part of a stronger pullback, how long it was after the break that I would enter, how long I held the trade for, and there are so many more that I didn't actually I've done and then actually got rid of because I knew they didn't work. And this is what makes a successful strategy. Like I said in the last episode, I can give you the bare bones of what the strategy looks like. I can tell you, hey, look, if you draw a trend line, okay, and you take a short when it hits this moving average, right? Then there's your profit. Right? I can give you what that looks like. How you then make it profitable is by going through and saying, okay, what can I do to really make this good? And I did that, and I spent hours and hours on this part. And this is a bit I alluded to last time. This is why I'm not going to give the exact strategy away, because I probably spent 30, 40, 50 hours, I don't know, just going through the data and understanding where there might be edge. I found it. I began to adjust the strategy. And if we just bring this up, what I ended up having, it's a bit of a sneak peek, was a strategy that had a higher win percentage at 58.5% and a greater total expected return. This was also over more reliable data because only half of it now is pure backtested, which I didn't trade, and the other half is actually probably even more than that. Probably about 2/3 of it is either traded and been scrutinized with the new approach in mind, and there's other trades that weren't scrutinized in the same detail, but I've been able to take the screenshots and work out what I would have done. So the data's more accurate, the win percentage is higher, and the return is higher. So with this improved strategy, I went, okay, this I now think works a lot better. So what did I do? I did not jump straight into live trading. I didn't jump straight into a challenge. I went back to paper trading. And the big thing that jumped out was my accuracy wasn't fantastic. It was at 77% before jumping into the challenge. Okay. However, my win percentage increased and the total profit had increased. And it's a small sample, I know. But the crazy thing was that once I'd made these adjustments, the edge was just so much bigger. And that's really the theme for this is when you start a challenge, you want to put everything in your favor. Number one, you need to make sure your edge is as big as possible. The bigger the edge you have, the more likely it is that A, it's going to continue for a long period of time, and B, that you're going to be able to execute it at a good enough level to take profit from it, which will lead to becoming funded. Okay. If you have a small edge, you need to be very accurate, and you're probably going to go through periods of drawdown. And the big thing with this strategy, if I bring back up this real quick, is the biggest drawdown that it went through was around about 7.2R, right? Now that means that you can trade much larger size. I had $2,500 of initial risk. If you divide 2,500 by 7, okay, I can take a $350 risk. Okay, we're going to talk more about that in the next episode, but you can take bigger size. You don't have to say, right, I'm going to take 1 micro contract, 2 micro contracts, I'm going to build it up. There's no need to do that. Use the paper trading. First of all, refine your edge to prove you have a big edge. Use the paper trading to prove that you can execute it well enough. Once you're at that point, you do not need to use the challenge to prove you can execute it. You've proved that yourself. You then use the challenge to become funded, to gain access to the funds. People do it the other way around. They take a strategy and then they use the combine or the funded or the challenge or whatever to prove they can make money from it. Why do it then? Why not do it for free paper trading or for a very, very small amount of money paper trading? And then when you get to the point where you're having to achieve these challenges, you know it has a big edge. You know you can make money from it. And you can therefore trade with a lot more freedom and say, I know this makes money. I know I make money. Now I just need to click the buttons and do it until I get funded. And this is how, when I went into trading the challenge, I knew that I would achieve it within the first couple of weeks. In fact, I thought that there was a pretty good chance I would achieve it in the first day or the first 2 days because of the size I took. And I'm going to go into more of that in the next episode. And I would have done. Funnily enough, I hadn't made so many mistakes, which is crazy. So that's it for this episode. Take those away. If you've not paper traded before, if you've not refined a strategy before, this, I believe, was the critical step that changed me from being a losing trader to becoming a funded trader. And that is, I can't really say any more. One extra thing, I do have a link in the description below, an affiliate link to Bulenox. Now, if you want to support me and show me some love, and money isn't the biggest, thing for you right now, and you can afford to pay the full amount or the discount amount on the site, I would love for you to support it. I would, I'd really appreciate it. It'd be great. If it isn't, you want to do this on the cheap, do not use my affiliate link. Go and find links that give you a 70, 80, 90% discount. I got the $50,000 account for like $50. It's normally 150. So I got 65% off. I think it was actually 70% off I got, right? It cuts the cost down. If you're doing this to try and get access to money as cheaply as possible, go and do that. Don't use my account. If you're saying, actually, I don't really mind, 150, 50 doesn't really matter, I want to support Nick, then I love you. Thank you so much for that. And yeah, I'll see you in the next episode, which will be probably a little more fun because we'll go through the trades that I took and the mistakes I made. And I believe we will then have only one more episode, which will talk about actually hitting the funded target. Thanks for watching till the end of the video. Just adding a quick piece in here so that you know what extra services I have to help you become a better trader. On my site, guidedtradingmeditations.com, you can find my new course, The Trading Blueprint, which gives you a full guide on how to create an edge, test it, start trading it, and scale up. There are sections included on how to find the weaknesses in your trading and then how to resolve them, as well as many other bits of information that I've gathered in my years of experience. The aim of the course is to make you a fully independent trader so you don't need to pay ever-growing monthly fees to be in a chat room. There's no specific edge needed. You can use this in any market with any trading style. If you're at a stage in your trading where you're struggling and would prefer a more in-depth look at your own personal weaknesses and ongoing support, you can also book one-on-one coaching with me on the site. There's a cool breakdown on the screen right now, so pause the video and read through it, and if it's something you're interested in, check it out. There's a ton of other content on the site that I'm really proud of and I've really enjoyed making, so if you're interested, please check it out. I'm sure there'll be something on there that can help your trading. You can reach me on Twitter. My handle is in the description down below. You can send me a DM if you'd like any more information. And make sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date with future videos.